So, perimeter barrier openings. In determining the appropriate perimeter barriers, security managers should not overlook the necessities of monitoring perimeter openings that could be used by intruders. These openings are: number one is gate and doors should also have guards or lock as much as possible. Number two is windows, and similar openings should be guarded, or grills should be installed so as not to be used by intruders. When possible, windows and opening less than 18 feet above the ground, roofs and ledges or less than 14 feet directly or diagonally opposite uncontrolled windows in other walls, fire escapes, or other openings of 96 square inches or larger should be grilled or have steel bar protection. So number 3 is sidewalk, elevator, or elevated parts of the land near the perimeter barrier that provides access to the areas where the perimeter barriers should be locked and guarded. Number 4 is utilities opening, such as sewer, air intakes, exhaust tunnels which penetrate the barriers, which have cross sections area of 96 square inches should protected by bars, grills, etc. Number 5 is clear zone, is an obstructed area maintained on both sides of the perimeter barrier, and clear zone of 20 feet or more is desirable between barriers and extension structures and natural cover, which may provide concealment assistance to persons seeking. So letter D is type of perimeter barriers. Number 1 is fence, 2 building walls, and 3 is bodies of water. So number 1. So letter E is additional protective measures. Number 1 is top guard. Top guard is an additional overhang of barbed wire placed on a vertical perimeter fences facing upward and outward with a 45-degree angle to 4 strands of barbed wire, spaced 6 inches apart. This will increase the protective height and prevent easy access. Number 2 is guard control station. So guard control stations are normally provided at main perimeter entrance to secure areas located out of doors and manned by guards of full-time basis. So number 3 is tower or guard towers. So towers are house-like structure above perimeter barriers. It gives psychological effect to the violator. So towers, so maybe some of you seen it. So it's like a lighthouse. And number 4 is sign and notices or control signs should be erected where necessary in the management of unauthorized ingress and prelude accidental entry. It includes ID, prohibited and exclusive areas sign. Letter F is perimeter guards, employed and augment the existing perimeter security or perimeter barriers of a certain establishment. So the two types of employing perimeter guards are: number 1 is the fixed post. Number 1 is fixed post. Fixed post. Security guards are assigned in a particular place of the compound to the guard watch the area surrounding. Number 2 is patrol or roving guards. In the system, the security guards is required to walk and go around regularly around the company premises. So, a basic concept of security protective lighting. Protective lighting provides means of continuing illumination during hours of darkness, a degree of protection that is maintained during daylight hours. These safeguards also have considerable values as a deterrent to thieves and vandals and made the job of the saboteur or more difficult. It is essential element of an integrated physical security program. So letter B is basic requirements. So number 1 is protective or security lighting needs and installation and facilities depend upon each situation and areas to be protected. Number 2 is protective lighting should not be used as psychological deterrent only. Number 3 is when such lighting provisions are impractical, additional security posts, patrols, sentry dogs, patrols, or other security means will be necessary. Number 4 is protective lightings may be desirable for those sensitive areas or structure within the perimeter which are under specific observation. So letter C, characteristic of protective lighting. Using protective lighting expensive and its additional cost to company or establishment. Therefore, consider the following in planning for protective lighting. Number one is protective lighting usually requires the less intensity than working light, except for identification and inspection on an authorized portal in emergency. Number two is lighting. Lightning Lightnings may be needed may vary because of the areas of installation or facility present its particular problem based on physical layout, terrain, atmospheric climatic condition, and the protective requirements. Number three is the data available from the manufacturer equipment which will assist design in a lighting system. Letter D is protective lighting significance to security forces. So, number one is the reduction of the need for security forces. Number two is personal protection for forces by reducing the advantage of concealment or surprise for a determined intruder protective requirements. Number three is the data available from the manufacturer of lighting equipment which will assist in a designing a lighting system. So letter D is a protective lighting significance to security forces when properly employed. Protective lightnings are the following. Number one is reduction of the need for security forces. Number two is personal protection forces by reducing the advantage of concealment and surprise for the determined intruder. Number three is relieve security forces could be used to better advantage elsewhere. So protective lighting principle or technique. Number one is security lighting should be enable a guard to observe clearly the activities around inside the premises within his jurisdiction. Number two is in planning contrast between intruder and background should be provided. When contrast is poor, increase the intensity which will improve guards' ability to see. Number three is lighting boundaries and approaches as well as the areas and structure is useful to discourage unauthorized entries and reveal identity of a person. So good lighting should reveal bordering areas glaring to intruders adequate for the guard to observe his position. And number five is effective lighting should discourage attempt to enter the premises and make detection more likely if entry is attempted. 6. If lighting at night cannot be provided due to impracticability, other means of protective have to be made like additional guard posts or patrol fences and alarm. So number 7 is lighting should not be used alone. It is used by other measures such as fixed security posts or patrols, fences, and alarm. Number 8, in addition to seeing long distance, security forces may able to see low contrast such as indistinct outlines of silhouettes and might be able to spot an intruder who may be exposed for a second. So the lighting technique is to identify the intruder's identification and for the intruders not to enter the establishment or the place they want to rob or do something harmful. So letter F is type of security lighting. Stationary luminary. Continuous, most common type of consisting service of fixed luminous to flood to given area continuously overlap. It may be either. Letter A is glare protection type. B is controlled lighting. So those are the type of stationary luminary. Excuse me. So number 2 is standby lighting. Similar to continuous lighting but entered manually or by a special device or other automatic means where there is suspicious entry. So number 2 is movable lighting, consists of stationary portable manually operated searchlights which may be lighted continuously during hours of darkness. So there are also general types of sources, lighting sources. So there are incandescent lamp, mercury lamps, metal halide, fluorescent lamp, high pressure sodium vapor, low pressure, and vapor quartz lamp. So physical security part 2. So there are types of lighting equipment. Number 1 is the floodlights. Floodlights are used for outdoor security lighting. including the illumination of boundaries. Number 2 is street light, to produce diffuse light rather than directional beam. So number 3 is searchlight. Searchlights are incandescent light to provide the type of crime related to lightning system, and there are also lightning application or lightning system. So number 1 is fence perimeter lighting. It is used to illuminate the fence itself and the area beyond it. And its an objective is to reveal intruder's approach and produce glares toward him. So number 2 is area lighting. It is used in a building face perimeter consists faces of building within 20 feet. Number 3 is flood lighting. Is used to cast a strong light on the walls of buildings so that the intruders are visible. Number 4 is the gatehouse lighting. It is installed on an active entrances for pedestrians and vehicles to facilitate complete inspection of passenger. Number 5 is topping up lighting. It is used to illuminate dark areas not adequately by area or flood lighting. So protective alarms. So protective alarms. So protective alarms. A, defi- the- a- sorry. A definition of terminologies as used in the lesson and uniform understanding are defined the following. Number 1 is alarm signal. It is synonymous to warning of an imminent danger. Number 2 is protective alarm. It is an oral or visual signal given by the initiator to security when intruder activates device in a protected area. Number 3 is initiator. It is a visual or audible signal device which initiates condition of associate circuits. So there are basic protective alarms. Another safeguard to assist security complement, if not to supplement physical security, is an array of alarms. So these alarms of various types and cost can be installed indoor or outdoor. So C is operational and times of intrusion alarm system. Alarm works in a various type and they emit signals through a variety of mechanisms with their methods of operation. Alarms could be classified into the following. Number 1 is so breaking an electrical circuit of metallic foil or wire. In a building or compound, all possible entry can be wired by using electrically charged strip in a tin foil wire. So number 2 is interruption of light beam. Interruption of light beam of photocell through a photoelectric cue device is an inaudible light boom in a transmitted at an invisible light beam is transmitted at a frequency of a several thousand per second to a special receiver. So the disadvantage of photocell includes the beam bypass by the conning underneath, climbing over. It is a requirement of a rigid-based permanently installation. It's not to face external or outdoor installation. So number 4 is detecting sound and vibration through audio detection device. Super sensitive microphones, speakers, sensors are installed in walls, ceilings, and floors of protected area of any sound caused by attempted force of inspected by the sensor. So number 5 is vibration detection device. The vibration sensitive sensor is attached to walls, ceilings, floors, and protected areas. So space in motion detectors. So these systems device their operating principles usually from a physical phenomenon known as Doppler effect. Number 7 is penetration of an electron or electromagnetic fence. It is an electromagnetic fence consisting of 3 to 5 strands of wire spaced from 9 to 24 inches above one another. And number 8 is foot rail activator. Placing the front of their foot engage activation bar placed on the floor in such a position that tellers may activate from alarm. So number 9 is bill traps, usually placed in a teller's cash drawer connected to alarm using a wire connector. So number 10 is knee or tie button, like the foot rail, permit alarm activation safety while both hands remain clear in the view of the robber. Number 11 is the foot button. Like foot rail, the permit alarm activates safety while both hands remain clear in the rubber. Number 12 is double squeeze button. Pressure is required on both sides. Those 12 kinds of alarm. There are 12s. 12s. So types of alarm detection system. Number 1 is central station system. Number 2 is proprietary system. Number 3 is local alarm system, auxiliary system, local alarm by chance system, and dial alarm system. So there are also three parts of an alarm system. Number 1 is sensor or trigger device. Number 2 is circuits which carries message to the signaling apparatus. Number 3 is signaling system, sometimes called the initiator. And this F is and there are also desirable characteristic of intrusion alarm system. The primary consideration of the choice of the particular alarm system includes stability, durability, and reliability. Desirable characteristic furthermore should include a detection unit should initiate the alarm upon instruction of human being in the area of vicinity of the protected object. Number 2 is the initiator console indicating the audible and oral signals and the specific location of incident. Number 3 is fail. A safe feature gives alarm in the initiator when something wrong is with the system. Number 4 is system should be difficult to tamper or render ineffective by outsider, competitors, or saboteurs. Number 5 is panel. Panel board can be central initiator operating console. Monitoring activities should be removed at all times. So letter G is the perimeter protection. This is the first line defense to detect the intruders. This could be done through any following. So number 1 is door switch. Number 2 is metallic foil, glass break detectors, wooden screens, wooden window screens, lace and paneling. So physical security part 3. Area and space protection. So this involves detection of intrusion inside the building or within the area with the use of indoor detection device. These indoor detection work through motion detectors. Number 1 is types and generally motion detectors operate through any. Number 1 is infrared rays. Number 2 is passive infrared motion detectors. Number 3 is active infrared motion detectors. Number 4 is ultrasonic microwave video reducing false alarm. And so there are 6 area and space of protection. So J is reducing false alarm. A burglar can initiate a considerable response by police or private security personnel who may leave other important use the race too. So number 1 is passive infrared detectors can be programmed to ignore the first movement detected and to sound the alarm only when movement passes through. Number 2 is dual technology motion detector. It combines passive infrared device and microwave device unit. So these are electronic devices detecting for entry or some cases attempted entry of an intruder and signaling the alarm. Perimeter including detection system or PIDS. These electronic device for detecting entry or attempted entry crosses the external perimeter key point or vital point and signaling an alarm. They provide similar advantage as an IDs but have following limitation. And the limitations are liable to high false alarm, costly to maintain and install, may be vulnerable to deliberate alarming. So sometimes can be circumvented by knowledgeable intruders. A fire alarm system has a number of devices working together. So fire alarm system. detect and warn people through visual and audio appliances when smoke, fire, carbon monoxide, or other emergencies are present. So, alarms and automatic fire extinguishers to avert possible occurrence of fire. B is private fire protection system. Private companies and business establishments install fire alarm automatic fire extinguisher to avert possible occurrence of fire. Number one, so these kinds are private fire protection system, automatic sprinkling system, fire pumps, standpipes, fire hydrant, portable hand extinguisher, and alarm system. So fire detection system, designed to discover fires early in their development when time will be still available for the safe evacuation of occupants. Excuse me. To be useful, the detector must be coupled with alarms. Alarm system provide notice to at least the building occupants and usually transmit the signal to a staff monitoring station, either off-site in some cases. These systems have numerous advantages discussed above. The one major limitation is that they do nothing to contain or control the fire. The fire they also provide notification that they are operating, so they can fill the role of the heat detection base system if connected to notification appliances throughout the building. So a smoke detector is a device that sends smoke, typically as an indicator of fire. Commercial smoke detector issues a signal to a fire control panel as a part of alarm system. So smoke detectors are hard plastic enclosure typically shaped like a disc about 150 millimeters 6 inches in a diameter of 25 milliliters thick, but the shape of size is very small, can be detected either optically or physically processed. So protective locks. So let's proceed to protective locks and key control and protective cabinet. So a basic concept of protective locks and key control. The defense against picking and making of key by impression is installing a special peak resistant impression to resistant lock cylinder. So cheapest security investment that can be made. Locking device is simply a mechanism that extend door or windows a wall that hold them. So a definition and terminologies. Lock is a mechanical, electrical, hydraulic, or electronic device to prevent entry into a building, room, container, or hiding place and to prevent the removal of items. So any various device having the form of function such as a key for winding a lock, means of gaining, preventing entrance, possession, or control. It is also an instrumental or deciding factor for the key to her success. So padlock, it is a removable shackle that can be passed through a staple or link then secured. So type of locks. There are a lots of type of locks just like ward lock, this tumbler lock, lever tumbler lock, pin tumbler lock, combination locks, code operated locks, electromagnetic locks, card operated locks. So there are 8 types of locks. So key control. Key control to various methods for making sure that a certain keys are only used authorized to people. So keys are classified into the following. There are also a change key, a submaster key, a master key, and a grandmaster key.